Welcome to another episode of Stoking the Fire Ministries. My name is Darrel Myers. Here I'm with Joshua Austin. I'm going to interview him today. What brought you here to our class today?
Well, I come here to get more into Jesus than learn more. But I also found out that it helps me in my recovery too, and I learn more here.
Yeah. At what point in your life did you start using?
I started using when I was 9 years old. And at 9 I started drinking and smoking dope. And then it led on to I was probably 13 and I started doing pain pills. And then at 16 I started shooting dope, doing fentanyl, heroin, coke, meth. And then it led on. I kept getting in and out of prison, jail. I lost my, I was 21, and my wife, she had our boy, and he was born with dope in the system.
Yeah.
So CPS come and took our kids, and moved in with my mom. And the good part about that was that I was still able to see him all the time, so I was still in their life and stuff. Me and my wife, we kind of split up. We're still married, but we're split up. But I was still able to stay in my kids' life and help my mom and dad, raise them and stuff. So that was a good thing. And I got to the point where I started selling drugs.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, somebody's got to sell them. If it ain't this guy, it's going to be somebody else. If I don't sell them, somebody else sell them. And then I went to prison. I got out. I went back to prison again for selling dope. And then here I am again for selling dope. And now at 42, I'm starting to realize that I destroyed more lives than it was worth. You know what I mean? It's like, because I didn't only hurt myself, but I hurt that person's life, not only his, but his kids, their moms. I mean, I got blessed, and God, thank God that nobody died or nothing.
Yeah.
But it's cost me 13 years in jail and prison over these drugs. I destroyed a lot of friends I've lost. And I destroyed my family because I can't just blame it on, my wife. We had problems, but we both done it. Which, if I've always been in and out of church. I was raised up in church. And if I would have stayed on that path, this would have never happened. But, I always been on that fence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stand
half
on the
and
fence,
half.
Yeah. Can't be a half and half.
Cannot.
Yeah.
It was just devil's playground is what that was.
Yeah.
And it destroyed me. But I mean, I learned a lot, and I'm glad that I did because I'm hard-headed. I used to fight a lot. I'd get in trouble. I went to prison. I even joined a gang in prison.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it now. But back in the day, it happened. But as I got older, I started learning, and I realized that all them things I'd done it wasn't working.
Yeah.
I thought I'm gonna be bad. I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna do all these drugs and join these gangs and fight and be tough and all this, and really, I wasn't. I was just a boy in a man's body.
Yeah.
Until I got to the age I am now, I really become a man, I have to say. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but really it's the truth. Growing up, you do kid things, and once you get to the age, you're supposed to leave them alone. But I didn't. I kept going with it.
Yeah. So when we get older, I'm 42 myself, and we get God in our lives, He makes us sometimes look back on the things we done and the things that we chose over top of Him, and to stray away from Him. I mean, I was brought up in church myself. I was brought up in, with a godly family, and I chose to veer off, not just to veer off, but go all the way to the other path, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as He lets us grow in His sight, He lets us also see where He's picked us up before. The ODs we survived, all the stuff that we've survived, the jail, prison, we survived all that because it was ruthless in there sometimes.
Yes,
I mean, it was. People preying on each other and people just taking advantage of each other. And you sit there, near jail and prison, and you laugh at that. You know what I mean? And it just gives you a humbling feeling when He makes you look back on those things and sees like, well, look what I did for you. I pulled you out of this. I saved your life. You know what I mean? Yes. I done this. So, and then he lets us try to make amends to other people too. Did you ever have a hard time making amends with people?
No, I've not. I have to say, I've always been the type of person that I've always stand up and told people, that I was sorry. I even done it when I was actually in addiction on the street. I've actually, apologized to people for doing things to them and stuff.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't know why I was like that, but I've always has been.
Yeah. One point brought you to get clean, like when you said you were done with all this.
Well,
like you were done with the last time you ever get high.
I got caught. I went to jail. I'm out. I paid 5 bonds, got out on bond. Okay. My first thought was go get a bunch of dope and just shoot it and just OD. That was the first thought.
Yeah.
Cause like right now I'm facing a lot of time. So I'm not going to prison and I'm not going to do this. I'm like, I got 13 years already locked up. I'm not doing it anymore. So that's the first thought. I was going to just kill myself, OD. And my daughter and my lawyer actually was the ones that talked me out of it. And my lawyer told me to go sign up in rehab and get help.
Yeah.
So I come to rehab to get help mainly because my daughter and lawyer wanted me to. But then once I got here, I actually went to a rehab before I come to this one, done 28 days. And then, once you get off the dope, you start actually thinking and getting clearer. Then, it's not a life. It's not. I got to the point where I got tired, I sell dope, I make all this money, I have cars, houses, I've never been poor, never been on, homeless or none of that. But I get locked up and I lose it all.
Yeah.
Then I get back out and I do it again. I get locked up and I lose it all. And it ain't working.
No, it's not working
at all. If you really think about it, it's just not, and how is that good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm 42 years old and ain't got a savings account. So retirement, I'm looking at nothing.
Yeah.
And now at 42, I got to start working and start saving for retirement. And that's just, to me, it's not a smart way to live.
You trust in God, He'll give it all to you.
I do.
Look what He's done to me.
I've
got a bank account, I've got a job, I got a 401k, I've got where they put money back for my retirement. I have to be there for 10 years, but it's still me trusting in God. I didn't have to ask for it or anything. He just gave it to me. He made the stepping stones for me to get to there. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
If you trust in God and live the right way and do as best you can by Him, He'll be by you and you're never alone. How do you think your family feels about your recovery?
My family loves it. They tell me every day. They call me, talk to me every day. They call and tell me how proud they are of me, how happy they are. They love it.
The encouragement's
it's great.
It's a lot.
Yes,
it means
a
lot. It helps you.
Yes, it does.
You can only move forward.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like the addiction recovery class has affected your life?
How do I feel it affected my life?
Yeah.
As in good?
Yeah.
Well, it's taught me a lot of ways to think about my addiction. As like you were saying, as all these things in the past that I've done wrong, that I thought, that I brought myself out of it. And really I wasn't. It was Jesus bringing me out of it. And I really never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Until I came here. And I mean, it's a great, I encourage anybody to do it. Even if they can't do it here, they can do it online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it will benefit you, it will help you.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's helped me a lot. I mean, it's made me think a lot. I mean, I read the Bible every night before I go to bed. I go to sleep listening to Christian music. And I've never done that day in my life.
Why do you think you do that?
Because God done it.
Yeah.
God's doing it to me.
It's surprising.
And I mean, I'm not perfect. I still, I cuss. I smoke cigarettes. I still, I have problems, but He'll clean it.
Yeah.
I do believe He'll clean it.
There's nothing He can't do.
Exactly.
Yeah. What steps, goals do you have to improve your life?
Well, I want to finish my rehab. I want to get a job, get my driver's license back, and I want to be the best father I can for my kids. I want to be a good son for my mothers, but most of all, I want to help others.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what you're supposed to do. Once you get to the point where you're strong enough to go out and get somebody to bring them in, that's what you're supposed to do. Not only for recovery, but for God.
Yeah,
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Because 100% without God, you have nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do whatever you want to do, but everything I've done in life, I went to rehab once before. Didn't help me. I went to prison for 3.5 years. Didn't do a drug one. Got out. Didn't make it 6 months. Started doing drugs.
Yeah.
Always is this a battle. Till I really dug in and really wanted to follow Jesus' footsteps, did I get clean.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm happy. I would say I'm happy as I've ever been in my life.
That's amazing.
It is. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. It's good.
Hey guys, you've been watching Stoking the Fire Ministries. We are a faith-based ministry out of Chesapeake, West Virginia to reach the lost and broken souls. If you like this content, remember to like and subscribe, share this with as many people as you can. We're trying to get our name out there to support these people who don't have anyone else to lean on. Tune in next week for another powerful episode. Our socials will be in the description: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We post weekly content. If you have a prayer request, please leave it in the comment section below and we will keep you in our prayers. Remember, Jesus loves you and I love you. Believe that.